The birthday party set is the best set I've ever been on. That's the most creative, amazing production design that I've ever been a part of. And weird, coming out of the canal, the vaginal canal. The ideas are just incredible.
That was such a triumph on our set designers' behalf. The scripts came in very, very late. They often do. They come in like sometimes a week before we're about to shoot. Nobody knows what we're shooting. Nobody has any idea what we're about to do and we're doing next week. Oh yeah, just go ahead and you have a few days to build Kendall's mother's vagina and everybody has to walk out of it. And then he just does it. Like they just throw it together. It's crazy. And did it so fast and so brilliantly. There's so much work for me to do. I'm trying to figure out my lines and I'm walking through what is my mother's vagina and I look up and go, holy shit, someone built this. I forgot that somebody has to go through the process of actually making this thing on the paper happen. And so that was just great fun.
I remember everything about shooting that. I think I had a hand in that episode more than most because I cared so much about it. And because I thought it had the potential to, in a single episode, go from being what was meant to be the sort of pinnacle of his life to being the complete nadir of his life. And in a way, to be both on top of the world and then in the ninth rung of hell. This incredible pile of gifts that I rummaged through to find the one meaningful thing. I just thought that was the most brilliant writing. And I remember the night before we shot, I sketched out on pieces of paper what I wanted the gift pile to be like, because I wanted to shoot it almost like a stunt. So I didn't know what was gonna happen in the scene. And so I drew this picture of this sort of almost like Princess and the Pea, big giant pile of gifts, and I texted it to the director and the production designer, and that's what we created. And I brought a lot of stuff from my own childhood, and it was very personal. It was a very I think it's an amazing episode. The arc, the span of it, and it's the moment really where the character can't stay up anymore, because this whole season is really up. It's like in a very major key, and he is trying to. I was in French Polynesia before we started filming the season, and I went on one of these things called a flight board. Mm-hmm. Have you ever seen these? It's basically like a smart surfboard. If you stay on it balanced enough, it will go faster and faster and faster, and then eventually it comes out of the water until you lose your balance, and then you wipe out spectacularly. And I remember the moment of lifting off out of the water, mm-hmm. thinking, it wasn't a thought, it was more like a visceral feeling. That's season 3.
You've just been born into the world of Kendall Roy.
Go on, tell us who's here.
Who isn't?
Your dad? Your mom?
Your wife and kids?
I was thinking, what a fun thing as well for Shiv, for audiences and for me as well, to discover about Shiv, to see her in kind of a free form, expressing herself in dance, and quite a catharsis. But I know it was very enjoyable for me to do. At that point in the pandemic, I hadn't been to a club in maybe over a year, and I hadn't danced in a group of people for certainly over a year. And being able to do that, get paid to do that for a night was brilliant. Just even if it was if it was in character or not, was very happy to be dancing that night. Roman says that it looked like the dance with a sugar plum failure, and which is one of my favorite lines. And I asked Jesse whether he thought that Shiv was a bad dancer, and he was like, oh no, I don't think so. I think that Roman's just a shitty brother. And so I just danced how I wanted to dance. That's probably more Snook than it is Shiv.
It was a lot of stage directions. It was like he throws the desk and he throws papers and he and it was not like perfectly choreographed, and Matthew of course was just going to do whatever felt right in that scene, but they set up computers and they set up filing cabinets and they set up papers, and they the desk was ready to get tossed, and they were ready to reset. So like the room was prepared for him to destroy it. And he did in various ways every time. You know, I'm obviously in Greg, but it was so exciting to see like, oh, that's what he's doing, and I get to respond to this, and yeah, it was fun. It was fun every time. Didn't take a lot of takes. You know, he came out of the gate with perfect kind of behavior for it. So
It's lunch.
When will your father die?
With due respect.
No.
Yeah, no. Obviously, hugely looking forward to my father dying.
Right.
You have a couple of scenes with Alexander Skarsgård. What was that like?
That was instant. We did one rehearsal, and at the end of the rehearsal, we did a weird like clapping hands thing or something. Wasn't supposed to be there. It was just like we both started clapping hands at each other and screaming at each other's faces. Or maybe that was the first take. We did one quick rehearsal where it was like, and then I think it was one rehearsal where we didn't quite know where we were going to be, and we were like, should we just shoot it? And he was like, yeah. And then that first take, we like ended up screaming at each other and clapping, and then next take we did something completely different, and it was like this instant sort of click. The director came to me after the first like 3 takes and said, how long have you guys known each other? And I said, I met him at the first rehearsal. And she goes, that's extraordinary. She's like, it did feel like we had been working on it for a few days. Like we had got together and discussed it or something. But that's really cool in the show, because so many people come in, and it's got to be an intimidating thing to come into a show 3 seasons in, and it's pretty well-oiled machine, and everybody knows, and we work at a fast pace, and everybody, and to just jump in and click with it and click with the process, I think it's pretty extraordinary. There was no like grace period. He just went in, and he's quite talented, quite amazing.
We hear you sing a snatch of Billy Joel. Could you talk about that a little bit?
I wanted to sing a song earlier in the season at there's this company meeting that Shiv leads, and I think they have me leaving boomboxes and playing a song. I haven't seen it, so I'm not sure. But I wanted to go there with a karaoke microphone and sing Honesty. And lo and behold, months later, there it was in the script. So in a different way. And I think, the lyrics of the song, in a way, it's such a painful song, because it's about, honesty is such a lonely word. And I think Kendall at this moment feels like he is alone in his honesty, in his righteousness, and in his kind of crusade. There's a sort of plaintive cry singing that song. And, I was going to do it on the cross with my crown of thorns. We were either going to sing King of Pain by Sting, which is a fantastic song, or Honesty, which is, they're both just great songs. They both speak to the deeper themes of the show, and they gave me a chance to do something that was another sort of walking the plank moment for myself. So I was really excited about that.